Sanjeev Srivastav, who's an international affairs expert, joining me live on the broadcast. Sir, in your opinion, the kind of visit that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has so far made to foreign nations, enhancing cooperation and strategic partnership, it remains to be of a very important significance that this particular visit is beyond just the cooperation and the trade ties. He in fact has been making the impression that the countries are also conferring the highest civilian order awards to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which in turn, in fact, is reflected upon the kind of warm welcome that India extends to its allies and the nations where the relations are only deepening. What are the key takeaways that you understand from the pacts that India has signed so far with Guyana?
Well, I think this is a very a significant visit Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has undertaken in Guyana. And as you said very correctly, that our ties with Guyana is very special because there is a huge community of Indian origin people there. About 40% of their population is of Indian origin. And the present head of the state, Irfan Ali, and his forefathers have been from India. And 180 years back, Girmitia laborers, they went to Guyana, and they went as laborers, but they have now occupied a leadership position, prosperous position. And Simran, it is also a fact that Guyana is, at this point of time, is the one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And this country has enormous energy resources, as well as there is a lot of areas of where India and Guyana can collaborate. Like if I just mention a few, like food security, science and technology, innovation, agriculture, like key sectors where India and Guyana are going to be collaborating. And when both the leaders have met, Prime Minister Modi and Guyana's head of state is finally, there have been several agreements which have been signed, and with this kind of cooperation and understanding, I'm sure that the India-Guyana relationship will attain higher trajectory in times ahead, and India in particular will seek our greater collaboration with Guyana in a field of energy. Oil resources are enormous in Guyana, and India would like to have a greater cooperation with Guyana. And obviously, in that process, India will be benefited with regard to our energy security. At a time when you are facing so much of turbulence in the Middle East region, this region of Guyana could also become one of the sources from where we can buy oil. Obviously, there's enormous benefits India is going to gain. But at the same time, I would say that India is also extending its full cooperation and support for the building of Guyana as a nation. And we are going to be collaborating with them. As I said, that Guyana is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, but India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. India is the largest democracy on the planet. And India also provides voice to the voiceless nations. Like we have provided our full support to the countries of the global south, and because of our support only, you saw that in Rio de Janeiro G20 summit, African Union participated as a full member. So I think India has been giving support to the low and middle income countries, and those countries which did not have a much voice in the global affairs. India is obviously providing our support to the Caribbean nations. And in this visit in Guyana, Prime Minister Modi is also participating in the second India CARICOM Summit. And this CARICOM Summit is a very significant platform, and from which India is deepening its collaboration with the various Caribbean nations of the world. And as I said, that our relationship with the Caribbean nations are special. And with all the Caribbean nations, it is a very special relationship because a lot of people from India, they went to Caribbean nations, and they are not only doing their work, but they are leading that country. They have become prime minister, presidents, various top leadership position they have acquired in multiple sectors. So I think the Caribbean countries, they also want to deepen our ties, and the ties is a very historical one. Cultural connectivity is there. So I think there is enormous possibility for the India-Guyana relationship in particular to grow, and India's relationship with the Caribbean community, for which also enormous possibility is there. So I'm sure that in times ahead, with this kind of a visit and this kind of a summit which Prime Minister Modi is participating, obviously our ties with the Caribbean nations will further strengthen. And in particular, if I talk about Guyana, he has got a very grand welcome there, and I'm sure that after this visit, our ties, our deep ties with the Guyana will further get deepened, and it will be beneficial for both of our nations.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.